Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of the ABS show. You're watching MinaTV. You already know what to do. Go ahead, subscribe to our page. Also add us on Instagram, the ABS show. I am super excited today, like for real, for real. You know we love when the people that we talk about on this show come here, and today is no different. Everybody, welcome DJ Cuppy. Welcome to the ABS show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, guys.
I am excited. Let me tell you something. I was on the phone with my friends last night, and I'm like, guess who I'm interviewing today? DJ Cuppy. Thinking that they wouldn't know who DJ Cuppy was because my friends, I didn't know who she was. Her friends. They're like, wait, hold up, what? They were freaking out. They wanted to come in the studio, but yeah, it wasn't allowed. But so just so you know, you are making a lot of people happy just by coming here.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Thank you. And it feels like we're like one big family already.
Yes.
I love this show, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome.
So you're always welcome here.
Thank
It's
you.
like our pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. So don't be scared. We're just gonna have a conversation.
Yes.
It's gonna be light.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay. So go ahead.
First of all, I just want to say congratulations on your award from NYU.
Thank
you got the
you.
Artistic Achievement Award
Yes.
from New York University.
Congratulations.
That is
Thank
a
you.
big deal for an African girl. On top of that, a black person in general from NYU. And you only graduated from there with your master's a year ago.
Yes,
so
yeah.
that is
No,
amazing.
It feels so good to be in New York, and it's weird. Like, I started my speech last night saying, like, it's weird, like, being recognized for something I would do whether or not people noticed, right? So it's really cool. Like, again, like, I feel like I'm just living my dreams, DJing, going from show to show. And I feel like maybe because I'm a young Nigerian girl, it's actually quite impactful. It's a lot more than DJing. I feel like maybe I'm sending this message, and it's really amazing to get recognized. Like, wow.
Yeah.
You are. You are.
You are sending a great
Yeah.
message.
I think I was telling you this last night is like, how did you end up even becoming a DJ, like, in the first place?
Yes.
Coming from the family, you're
Yeah,
Nigerian, you're a girl.
Yeah, no, people are always really shocked, and like it's a question I have to answer all the time. But I guess maybe it's just I'm just doing what I love. But I come from a very entrepreneurial family, and my parents. I feel like last night winning the NYU award, like I feel like my parents, not that they didn't support, they've always supported, but it was a great moment for me to kind of show that, okay, cool, what I do has a lot of substance behind it. And even though I'm a DJ, I still run a business.
Yes.
Music business is business. But I feel like music coming from Nigeria, coming from Africa, we all know what it's like. You're literally born with this beat inside you, right? And my parents took me from Lagos at the age of 12, 13. So like I just moved from Lagos to London. Cold weather, the food was horrible. Everyone thought my accent was weird. So like my only escape was music.
Yeah.
And I won't talk about what was popping then. It's definitely not what's popping now. But like I remember that was the year that first iPod came out, and I literally just filled it with a bunch of Nigerian music, a bunch of Nigerian records, and it just used to, for that split second, I wasn't in the cold. It really, really helped me, and that's the thing I've learned. Music is so powerful.
Yes.
It really is. Like having recently relocated back to Nigeria, it's like when we're happy, we listen to music. When we're sad, we listen to music.
It's a universal language.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I feel like, especially for Africa, music is healing, and I mean, look at the days of Fela, where that was our way of expressing our political views. It's so important, and it's just like I couldn't think of a better thing to be doing.
Okay, so take me to that moment. Your parents are spending all this money on you, going to school, and then one day you come home and you say you want to be a DJ. How did, first of all, so there's still part of this question. So how did your parents feel about it when you said that? And the name Cuppy, how did you come up with that name?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great question to ask. So I'm actually trying to put myself to that moment.
Yes,
I
take
actually
us back.
I mean, I had been DJing for a long time. Now, the good thing is my grades never suffered. So, education was always important. I never skipped class to do a show. So, as far as my parents were concerned, it was like a hobby. But I think it was the day I got my first check. They were like, what? And that was probably when I was like maybe 17, 16. It wasn't very big, but it was still something. And you know, a lot of African parents, they don't realize that creativity can be very lucrative. You know, it's not until I showed my dad, I was like, Dad, there's a Forbes list for like the top DJs in the world. You know, Calvin Harris made like $60 million. My dad's like, eh?
Once they hear money, that's it.
Yeah. You know, so, you know, so I guess, you know, my parents' reaction was definitely, wow, this is becoming very serious, you know, and from just DJing at clubs to DJing for presidential inaugurations, it sort of started becoming a very serious thing. And, you know, they're my biggest fans now. But I remember my dad saying, you know, anything you do, do it well. So I've always like been under pressure to do the best I can with my craft. And that's why I put a lot of effort into my brand. You know, I wouldn't say that I'm a typical DJ. You know, I think outside the box. I have a great team and we're always pushing the envelope. And then as far as my name, Cuppy, which a lot of people ask, so literally Cuppy's from cupcakes. So when I was younger, I literally loved cupcakes and I was maybe a bit on the cupcakey side.
Right. What's your best flavor? Cupcake.
Red velvet.
Red velvet. All right.
That's the best flavor.
Solid flavor.
That is the best flavor. So much that my company is called Red Velvet Music Group.
Okay.
I was gonna get right into that I really did notice that you're very strategic about everything that you do. From the name DJ Cuppy, Cuppy Takes Over Africa, and then I also noticed that your company is the Red Velvet Music Group, you know, so it shows that you're not just some DJ or this is, it's more than that. It's a business, as you said.
Definitely, and you know, I look at my market and I look at, you know, in Africa and Nigeria, we have such amazing records. We have great just talent, but it's such a shame because I see a lot of the talent just get kind of like, they don't reach their full potential because we're in a business. It's not just about the songs you make. It's about positioning. It's about the way you brand yourself. It's about, you know, it's like we want to take our music global, but some of us are not global brands. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know, so I really, really try my best to make sure that I'm an advocate for Africa. So that means that Afrobeats and our genre and our people, we should be inclusive. So for example, I have this party called Cactus on the Roof, which is quite lit. And that came from me going to a lot of places, realizing like Afrobeat parties weren't very inclusive. You know, people wanted to hear Afrobeats and wanted to go out, but they would go and be a bit like, oh, I'm not African, so I don't feel like I can fit in. So my own thing is kind of like being this global brand that can join two worlds together.
You know, the very first show I saw you in was Cuppy Takes Africa, and that was before I even heard of you. And I loved it because you were showcasing Africa. Why did you think that was important for you to do? Yeah,
I mean, Cuppy Takes Africa was a show that I did. I went to 8 different countries around Africa. And that was by far the most difficult and the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And, you know, that show for me was really important because it was me for once thinking, okay, cool, as much as a lot of things are centered around Nigeria, there's 53 other countries in the continent. And I, as a Nigerian, will put my hand up and say, we always think everything is about us, but it's not. You know, so I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna discover other places. And what was so amazing is like, there's so much to discover in Africa. And even when I lived in New York and when I lived in London, people always talk about being African. It's not really about being Nigerian. So I was like, okay, cool, I don't know enough about Africa. So that was really important. You know, I definitely, you know, learned some things and it made me realize that, yeah, there's a lot more out there than I thought. It was very interesting. But, you know, it was also about taking Nigerian music, you know, to East Africa, Central Africa. And it did also make me realize, like, Nigerian music is huge. You know, it's like, I mean, you play, like, a Wizkid or a Davido song and everyone's like, and, you know, it almost made me feel like, okay, cool, I'm taking a lot of the access I have for granted. And it really, really made me realize, like, wow, like there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and there's so much talent in these other countries. I was speaking to I had a great conversation with some people at Spotify, and we were looking at playlists, and it's like, why are all the songs, most of the African songs, they're mostly Nigerian? You know, it's weird.
So I gotta tell you, I love to party. Anybody that knows me, I love to party, I love to dance. So when I go to these events, I expect so much from my DJs. So my question to you is, at a party, what is your go-to song that will get everybody get it up and dancing?
That's a great question.
That's a great question. Okay, I can't pick one, but I would probably say like, and it changes, right?
Okay.
It will probably have to be, this is quite a classic, Shake Body by Scales.
Still?
Because of the beginning, like it just, it just gets people going.
Don't get me started because I'm about to. Because as soon as I heard that, I'm like, okay, but that's a great choice.
Oh yeah,
when you played that last night, an Asian girl whined all the way down. She was whining all the way down when that came on. And I have to say, like, the first time I saw you perform was in La Marina, I think 2014 or 2015. And I loved your show. Like, when you came on, I was like, who's that girl? Because you had like a blinked out headphones on. You had dancers on the stage. Like, when Cuppy's DJing, it's not like a regular DJ. It's like a whole show. She does it with like dancers. Like, what made you think of that?
Again, that's me being like inspired by, I guess, just the DJs that I see. So I feel like a lot of the importance of being a DJ is also learning from other DJs. So luckily, like I said, you know, despite growing up in Nigeria, I lived a lot of my life outside Nigeria. So I got access to places like Ibiza, which is like the DJ Mecca, and I got to see a lot of amazing DJs. And that's when you see that DJing is not just sitting in the corner, it's performance, it's an art, you know, and a lot of DJs back home don't see that. So day in, day out, you know, especially as a female, I have to fight a lot of my clients and say, no, we have to do it properly, you know. I want to be able to express myself in that certain way. I want to be able to make my performance as epic as possible because it's a way, like, it's an art form. It really, really is. And I know I sound a bit crazy, but it is, you know, so like, you know, typically like in Lagos, they'll be like, oh God, Cuppy's DJing. We have to make sure the booth is in the middle. We have to make sure there's room for her dancers. Like, why can't she just be in the corner? You know, I'm like, no, because I also feed off my environment. Like, I literally, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, the more I'm getting into my craft, like, I feel like I'm going slightly crazy because you become so obsessed with what you do. And you want to, I always say aim for perfection and settle for exception.
Oh, I like that. Let me write that down.
Good.
No, but I can definitely feel your passion when you talk about DJing. So I got to ask you though, in your next life, if you're not DJing, what do you see yourself doing? Because I could picture you as a really sexy nurse. Coming into Montevidean Hospital. You know, like, hey, doctor. What do you see yourself doing in your next life?
Wow. I don't know about sexiness. But I definitely think, you know what, as much as I'm a DJ, I'm a businesswoman first. I'm an entrepreneur. So, you know, I definitely would see myself running some sort of business. And I am running a business still. You know, I don't think I'm going to be DJing when I'm 60 years old. So
why not? You can.
I could.
Yes.
I could.
I see her as like a brand curator or like a marketing or like an advertising agency because you're very intelligent and creative at the same time.
Thank you. And you know, actually I struggle with that because a lot of people back home, I don't know whether it's my blonde hair, but people just think that I'm a bit of an airhead, really.
No,
it's because you're so beautiful, and then and a lot of times people think that, or maybe because you come from a certain background that things might be different for you, but people don't realize that sometimes coming from that background might make it even harder for you.
Oh, 100%.
Because you gotta work twice as hard.
You have to prove yourself.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I feel like definitely being from an entrepreneurial family, it's great. There's a lot of positives, but there's a lot of negatives as well. I mean, I saw on my Instagram last night, someone was like, oh, I bet your dad bought the award. And I was like,
oh my goodness. You can't listen to those people, let me tell you.
And you know, I feel like also, I always say this because people are like, Cuppy, is it annoying when people talk about you? And I say like, well, with what I do, there's a responsibility that comes with it. And you know, if you choose to be in the public eye, you have to take on that, I guess, that risk of people not saying the right things or making things up. I really don't like it when like celebrities or people in the public are like, oh, everyone's talking about me. You know, because when they're talking good, everyone likes it, you know, but it comes with the whole territory. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I feel like if I wasn't DJing, I would probably, I mean, to be honest, before I was DJing, I was doing a lot of stuff with my dad. I was working towards getting a trading license in oil. I mean, I would have been that person bored on a Friday, looking at the clock,
right?
you know, but I love what I do and it doesn't feel like work. So I'm really, really glad.
Awesome.
What is some business advice that you have for newbies who want to do something like what you're doing? Because you probably inspire a lot of DJs in Nigeria, but also women too who are interested.
No, yeah, being in a male-dominated,
super male-dominated.
I mean, very. Like I always say, DJing is like, you know, being a pilot on an airline. It's like, I remember I was flying with a friend, and the pilot was like, "Oh, welcome," and my friend was like, "It's a woman. We're gonna die." What? And I was like, "What?"
Because you don't see a lot of women pilots. I've seen it
Oh my God.
I've seen it
And I was like, what? And it's the same way, like, you know, a lot of people, it's their special day, it's their birthday, it's their wedding. They're like, am I really going to give a woman my dance floor?
Yes.
You know, what if she's upset? What if she gets moody? She's just going to, like, play sad songs all night because her boyfriend broke up with her. So, no, it's very similar. And, like, that's very difficult. And then, of course, like, you know, apart from being a female, being young, that's used against me sometimes. You know, Nigeria can be very ageist. And then, and then when I leave Nigeria, there's possible racism on top of that. So there's a lot of things going on. Sometimes it's like all the odds are against me. But I've learned, you know, and I said this yesterday during my speech, I said that, you know, it's all about using your unique talent, right? And using it as an advantage. So I was saying that, you know, what makes me different has become like my superpower.
Yes.
Which is really what my brand is about.
I love
it's
that.
about being different, right? It's about completely, it's like, no, DJ's not supposed to do that. Well, Cuppy's gonna do like my new record, my new single with Techno. It's like DJs aren't supposed to sing. Yeah, green light. DJs aren't supposed to sing, so guess what? I'm gonna sing. You know, it's about doing things different, and I feel like that's really where I'm at.
Talk about that record, like.
Yes.
And I want to know, does this mean that we're going to get a full album from you? Because when I heard you singing, I was like, oh my God, she's singing. I mean, it sounded great, but I was like, does this mean you're going to be an artist?
Yeah, so Greenlight is like, it's my debut single. And the reason I'm really emphasizing that, a lot of people don't know that even though I've been in the industry for a while, for a few years now, I actually never had my own record. So I was DJing, and as a DJ, it's fun playing other people's songs, but after Greenlight, I can tell you there's no feeling like playing your own song. It's the most liberating thing, and it's exciting. So Greenlight came, it just came really naturally. Techno is someone I've always been a fan of. You know, he's this crazy creative, and you know, he really pushed me. And what I love about him is, unlike a lot of the other artists that said, Cuppy, let's work together, people would say, let's work together, and then they'd send me records. Techno was like, yeah, no, Cuppy, we need to go to the studio, we need to write together, produce together. It was like much more of a challenge, and like that got me very excited. So, you know, after like almost 3 months, 3 different countries, we got the record done. We shot the video in Atlanta, which you guys should check out. It's very cool.
I've seen it, love it.
And it's doing really well. Today we hit 2 million views.
Wow.
So it's exciting.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cuppy.
Cool.
And yeah, so I think this is going to lead to more. I definitely want to work with a lot more artists. And like right now, Afrobeats is just booming.
Yes.
Who's the number one artist you haven't worked with that you want to work with?
That's tough. I want to work with a female. So like, coming from Lagos now, I mean, everyone knows Tiwa. I think she's great. Of
course.
You know, I was just with her on my birthday. We're talking about doing something together. Then there's really cool people like Niniola and Simi, Shay. There's so much going on back home. So I definitely want to do something. You know what I want to do? I want to do this like super record with like a bunch of females. But I just feel like it's going to be headache though.
But it'll be great though.
To get all of these girls in one room.
It would be epic. It would be amazing.
Make it work. All right, so I have to take it back. So you started DJing, you're breaking all these records, you're making money. What?
Shmoney.
You're making shmoney. So what was your first check and what did you buy? I want to know.
Oh, okay, so this is the thing.
Your first big check, we should say, because she's been DJing since she was 16.
Yeah. So I have never, and this is really sad to think, or to say, I've never actually bought something with the money I've made. So I believe in building a business. I believe to like make money, you have to spend money. So every penny I've ever made has gone back into my businesses. I have an office in London. I have an office in Lagos. I have very high costs. I have an internship program. Like a lot of what I do is kind of like extra stuff people don't bother doing, and it costs money. So I make sure I reinvest into my business. But I do have a list of things that, you know, when I get that check. Not even that's the thing. So I'm not really a fashion person.
What?
Yeah,
I don't think that's true.
You made that for your sister, right? Your sister
so
is
my
a great
sister,
fashion
shout out to
blogger.
my sister Timmy. She runs jtofashion.com. So she's the fashion one.
Okay.
I was always like more towards music. Yeah, I'm not really a fashion. It's so funny because like in Nigeria, someone will come to me and be like, "Oh my God, Cuppy, like you're my fashionista." I'm like, really? I'm like, I definitely didn't pick this, but okay. But I mean, yeah, it's difficult. I mean, I feel like being a female DJ, fashion comes. It kind of comes with it.
But you always look great. One of the things that, like, when you first got real popular, I noticed that you always wore African prints, maybe for like 2 years straight. You literally went everywhere, covered up, looking good, like looking sexy, but fully covered and an African print.
Covered up. That was definitely a thing. Like a lot of people said, and I got stick for it. People said, "Oh, why is she always covering up? You know, she's not really looking sexy. She looks like a grandma."
What?
I liked it.
But I mean, you know, I feel like now I'm 20. I just turned 25. You know, I'm in a place where I'm more comfortable in my own skin, so I'm pushing the envelope a bit more. Yeah. But I love Ankara, and I feel like, I wore it straight for 2 years. It's a long time, but I mean, I just go with how I feel. I'm a feeling kind of person. So let's see.
I gotta say though, and not just because you are here, you are such a real, like, you have such an aura about you, like all like happy. But I have to ask this question because we are all humans. What are some of your pet peeves? Like some of the things that people do and it gets on your nerves?
Oh, I have so many. Okay, I don't like when people don't pronounce my name properly.
Okay. So how do you pronounce it? What's the correct
It's Cuppy. But this is more like in Nigeria. Like they say Cuppy, they say Ku. Yeah, like I think I don't know whether the U like those. I'm like cup and
P.
Cuppy.
What else?
I don't like it when people I think I get a bit frazzled easily. So when there's too much going on, I can never say no. Well, not never, but I don't. If someone wants to take a picture with me or wants me to do something for them, I'm a really nice person. It's very hard for me to say no. But then when people like really like, it's like, okay, can you make a video for 5 of my friends? And then can you do this? And then can you pay my school fees? And then I'm just like, okay, well, that's a lot.
Yeah, you can't save everybody now.
No. And again, emphasis that in Nigeria, I don't know, I feel like Nigerians have a way of just pushing people. So that's a bit annoying sometimes. Or I don't like it when people, before I've even played one song, they've already made up their mind. You know, I used to think like, maybe I need to dress more masculine, or maybe, you know, like I feel like sometimes my femininity is used against me, especially with work. You know.
So wait, so as a DJ, you don't mind when people come by your booth and be like, "Can you play the song?"
Oh, no, that annoys. Actually, that's a good point.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I don't. I feel like now, like even last night, someone was like, "Do you take requests?" I was like, no. But I did so many years of that. I paid my dues. It's like, enjoy the journey.
I know what I'm doing.
Right?
I really, really genuinely enjoy your sets. I'll tell you why. Anyone, any race, any color, wherever they're from, will enjoy your music because not only do you play Afrobeats, but you have a very unique, good way of infusing it with regular songs. Like you infuse it with like, I think last night you infused it with like Despacito. I'm like, how that, like, you know, like how do you do that? Like, it's just amazing how you do that.
No, for me though, it's literally like, I feel like I'm in the middle. As much as I'm Nigerian, like I lived half of my life, you know, in New York, in London. So like, even with me, like the way I am as a person, my mentality, I feel like it's half-half. I don't know, I feel like maybe even my accent, I'm very like, I'm kind of a global citizen. So my music reflects that. Because I go back home and like I'll, you know, there'll be a crowd in Lagos and they just want to hear Afrobeat for like 6 hours straight. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Because I also feel like as much as I'm bringing Afrobeats to the world, I also have to take the world back home too.
Yes.
All right, so let's play a little game with her. Because I feel like this is getting too serious now. So let's play a little game with you, okay? And it's simple. DJ Cuppy is just a game. Shag, marry, kill.
Yes, everyone that
This
comes
game
on.
always gets me. Oh my lord!
And who do we
Wait,
have?
I
We have
really
no, we have Patoranking.
Patoranking.
Okay.
Wizkid.
And Olamide.
Shag, marry,
Wait,
kill.
Patoranking, Wizkid, Olamide.
Yes.
Shag, marry, or kill.
Kill.
Yeah, you have to pick
I've
one
never
for each
heard
of
of
them.
kill being in this game before.
Yeah, you get rid of them. No, we're not getting them down.
Okay. Shag, marry, kill. Marry, kill. Wow, this is so hard. Shag, marry, kill.
Kill.
Okay. So, marry would be what? Wizkid, Olamide, and
Patoranking. Choose wisely now. They watching. They
Like
watching.
Wizkid, Patoranking, Olamide. Oh, 3 of them are my friends. Literally, like
Yeah.
they're actually artists that I personally know. Okay, so I would say kill Patoranking. Why? Because
You gotta explain that.
yeah, because he's slightly about that Rastafarian thing.
That
So he
Batman
would
thing.
reincarnate.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. Shag. Oh,
Who you shagging?
I would
Juicy.
marry. I would probably. Wait, it's marry. Okay. This is just so inappropriate. Like ABS, you guys are killing me. Disclaimer on this. Okay, I would probably marry Olamide.
Okay.
Because he's already no, I don't know whether he's already married. I think he is, but I'd marry him because he's like Olamide, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're gonna shag Wizkid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess that's the last option.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so that works. And
That was
since
good.
we're on that wasn't too bad. And since we're on that topic, I mean, you have a great career, great family, great friends, everyone supporting you. Is there anyone special? Like, what's going on in your love life?
Yeah, no, I'm single, and I feel like I'm telling myself that it's out of choice. Because I feel like a lot of what I do, it takes up so much energy, and everyone on this table will know relationships take work. And I feel like I'm on a path where, I really have to prioritize work. And, I was in a relationship, and I feel like at this point in my life, I just need to focus on work. But it doesn't mean that I'm not looking. If the right person...
Oh, so you're single and wants to mingle.
I don't know whether...
You want to mingle?
Do I want to mingle? What does mingling mean?
I
Like
mean,
dating,
you're-
meet people.
Like I go on dates. I definitely go on dates.
Yeah.
I go on dates. Like I'll go and eat or I'll paint.
Okay, so since you're going on a date and people are watching, who is your type? Who's like typical? Who do you go for?
I don't go for people. People go for me.
No, what's your type? Everybody has a
I
type.
know.
Yeah.
What is my type? I don't
They gotta
know.
have a job.
Listen,
They gotta have a
They
job.
have to have a job.
That's
I mean,
An
that's
ambition.
Yeah.
they have to have a job. They have to be ambitious.
Yeah.
They definitely can't be a jealous type.
Ooh,
Because
yes.
with my work, I work with a lot of guys, late
Yeah.
nights. They also have to just be funny. I'm about that humor. Like I'm a very funny person. I feel like, a lot of the times life is quite tough, so I like to sprinkle some glitter on it. And I guess they have to love Afrobeats.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's
can't be
something to
playing.
comment.
Yeah, I can't be playing like Davido, and you're like, what's that?
Yeah.
And I feel like they have to, they just have to be fun. To date a DJ is hard work,
Yeah.
especially a
Yeah.
female one. Like I have friends that date male DJs, and it's like very difficult because you get a lot of female attention, vice versa.
All right, so the last question that we have for you, I mean, we're going into 2018.
Yes.
Do you have any special projects coming up? What should we expect from DJ Cuppy?
Yeah, in 2018.
I think that, I'm working on new music. And, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm definitely in a place where I'm trying to figure myself out. So I think, more growth, more exciting stuff. I would love to come to the US more.
Well, you're always welcome here.
Yeah.
That's a reason to come.
New York. And definitely more music, 100%. More music and just more Cuppy.
Awesome.
Any advice you have for young women?
Definitely. You know, I would say that it's important to love what you do, live a passion-driven life, you know, because passion is what gets you through those challenging times. And, you know, like I always say, find a job you love and never work a day in your life.
Yes.
Cuppy, I'm so glad that you're here. We learned so much about you.
Yes.
Cuppy the businesswoman, Cuppy the DJ.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you
It was
so
such
much.
a pleasure.
I had so much fun.
Yes,
I
please
hope
come
you have
back.
me
Don't be a stranger.
Yay.
And for more information, do you have a website you want to promote?
Yeah. Check me out, djcuppy.com, and my social media at Cuppy Music.
And the
Awesome.
current single is Green
Light
Yes.
with techno. Check that out. Check out the video. Enjoy.
So thank you so much for being here. And guys, DJ Cuppy is going to come back, so stay tuned. You're watching MinaTV. This is the ABS show.
Thanks for watching. And if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.